Hello again. Excuse me while I just get set up a little bit, okay? And I hope that you will be able to hear me quite clearly. Now, what I want to look at today and talk about is regards to a couple of items that concerns me. Now, we've had a new issuing of the 18th edition of the IEE regulations /IET regs. Now again, we still don't know how Brexit will affect us, but we will comply with those regulations as it stands. Okay. Now, some of you has also been doing the 2357, and you would already have noticed that there's been a change up to the 5357 regulations. Sorry, IE regs installation course. Let me just repeat that: 2357 and the 5357 installation course, which is run, of course, by City and Guilds. Now, one of the things that has concerned me is that the NVQ folder, or your work-based learning portfolio, or the portfolio part of your course, which consists of units 311 to 318 plus the AM2 testing. Those elements is the part that will give you your complete qualification once it has been completed. The problem for me is that, as I'm an electrical assessor myself, having looked at some of these folders, I have to say that I'm surprised that some of them haven't actually been completed better in a manner. Now, in my opinion, it would appear that some of the students has not been given adequate guidance in completing their work-based learning or NVQ folder to complete the course. And in my experience, I've seen cases where the student has gone 4 years and his folder has not been completed, and then you have a situation where you're going into the 5th and 6th year of trying to complete the student's NVQ folder. Now, to me, in my opinion, that would seem to be unacceptable, but maybe I am a minority. The 2357 course, if you had started that, that still will be completed in respect of 2357. It has a duration date. Now, there is no difference in regards to the technical requirements for the 2357 than there is for the 5357. So if you've done work in regards to the 2357, you can move that work forward to the 5357. Now, one of the things as well, as one of the electrical assessors in past time, the requirement and acquiring evidence has always been a issue for concern. But in reading the requirements as laid down by City and Guilds, it is quite simple. Now, when in regards to the 2357, we provided photographic evidence, but what I came across was situations where, when you read the text, it doesn't ask you for photographic evidence in the 2357. So you will find that some people who did the assessing something before, well, it hasn't asked for it, so we don't need to provide it. But there's no way better than to show your competence than to provide a photograph evidence. Now, the 5357 has now been more specific. It does ask you for photographic evidence, and that evidence needs to be produced. Now, once you set up the requirements and the evidence portfolio that's required from Unit 311 for 5357, you will find that 311 works its way right through to 318. Now, also something peculiar as well is that I've come across situations where a student has done an AM2 test, but he has not completed units 311 to 318. I mean, how is that possible? Again, it is in my opinion. How is that possible? But again, it is in your interest to ask questions. It is in your interest to make sure that you read the information given. It is your interest to acquire the skills and the knowledge as stipulated in regards to both the 2357 and the 5357. Now, all students in my experience has to be shown how to complete the folder or NVQ folder. And you cannot just put in a sentence, I wore PPE at work, I wore my protective footwear, and think that will do it. It will not. Because here we're showing your practical ability to apply your skill in completing a given task. So if I ask you to do me a conduit run, or to make me a conduit tee using a tee box, I would expect you to be able to do that, wire it up, and carry out all the testing that was needed in that case. If I ask you to do a trunking run, you should know how to do that and be able to implement that as an electrician or training electrician. Now, this is just me just having a little verbal, okay? Now again, no intention to offend anyone in any shape or form, but it's important that we understand that to be a qualified electrician, the NVQ folder, work-based learning portfolio, or just portfolio if you prefer, has to be completed, and an AM2 test has to be done to be a fully qualified electrician. Now I'm hoping that you will find this information useful, and I'm going to continue putting on my channel relevant information that will assist you to complete these tasks. But remember, you have to look at the information in full. You cannot just look at it for 10 seconds and go. I know you're young and boisterous and so forth and have a lot more important things to do, but if you're going to acquire this skill, and remember that this skill takes you beyond anything you can consider at this point in time, because you can then become electrical engineer, either move into electronics, move into management area of engineering. The expansion and the routes are various and numerous. Now in my other videos, some of you would have seen me have hair. You'll notice that I've lost it now, you see, but I'm just trying to acquire a little bit more. I think I'm going to get a missus to give me a little shade for the thing and see how, if I look any more dashing is the word. Okay, again, please note, no offense standard 21. This is purely for my own, to myself reference. Okay, but I think I'm going to try and be as bald as a coot. Now I have no idea what a coot is, but I believe a coot is a bird, but correct me if I'm wrong. But not everyone can have hair as mine. But anyway, enough of me for now. I hope you find information useful, and please do look at your relevant work. Oh, before I go, one thing more. This is what you'll be looking at. Okay, 2357 is here. Okay, I hope you can see that. Okay, and you'll find that the 5357 also goes up to here. Now, the only difference between the two is that this has now require you to be specific in your photographic evidence. This one, even though it requires you to provide the photographic evidence, some people found an excuse not to try to provide it because it didn't state it in the text. But let's hope we can begin to rectify that. Okay? Right. Thank you for your time, and have a good day and great success in your courses. Thank you. Bye-bye.